Fans are a complex entity. They can either suck you or blow you away and turn off and on with simple actions. Plus, they're expensive as hell. Holy shit, how can anybody afford a good fan nowadays without having to resort to glorifying and manipulating your YouTube audience? Anyways, the concept of being in a fandom has always been something I found really stupid. It's why I never call my YouTube audience my fan base or name them something really idiotic like the Hey Doxers. I'm sorry. The concept of fans is not intrinsically broken or bad, though. Don't get me wrong. You can be a fan of my work, other YouTubers' works, a game company's product, or a particular brand of toilet paper, and still be a rational individual. But I feel like there's a distinction to make between a fan and a fanatic in a fandom. The latter of which is like an assimilated cast of people in one hive mind acting collectively. More often than not, these so-called fans will just blindly defend their idol instead of making judgments based off of actual evidence. This happens all too much. It's what companies such as Nintendo, McDonald's, and Konami rely on to stay afloat. If these corporations do anything wrong, they can count on their batch of fans to come to their aid. And these people will defend just about anything their best friend, corporate entity number 432, does, without regarding any other perspectives at all. Rather, they result to just hurling insults at the other side when someone challenges their worldview, like... Alright, time to read comments. Hooray. Fucking hell, man. Oh, fucking hell. You want early access games so you can make early review videos and are more interested in consumers. This is all about you getting more views and less about Nintendo protecting itself. Your transparency is less than Nintendo's. Nintendo has sent an army of ninjas to assassinate you. You sound so unenthusiastic and uninterested. In these fucking videos, I can barely understand what this jackass is saying. You're gay, LaMayo, RT. Hey dogs, do you want some cheese with your wine? Because all I hear for 1404 min is wine. Maybe you need diaper change if you are whining. I use Adblock to watch this. ITC, maximum autism. You want cookies for your wine? Blah, blah, you are. And I think Haydox has his head stuck up his ass so far he forgets that the Pokemon Company took down Uranium, not Nintendo. I personally think that Nintendo would not have taken it down because it's not a remake of another game. Haydox, please research. Well, you know, Pokemon Company was actually established by Nintendo in 1998, so maybe you should do your research, I hate Haydox, he's a slut. Poor jealous little bitch, I hope he jumps off a building and kills himself. That was my favorite comment of the bunch, Blade Brown, I appreciate it. See, this is exactly the kind of exploitation companies and people have been using people for ages, and it saddens me to watch. None of those comments offend me or get to me, but they do make me sad. I wish people could see that no matter what corporation you're defending, they could not give less of a shit about you. Nintendo is not looking out for their fans in any way, as evidenced by taking down fan games, threatening copyright lawsuits to their most devoted fans, and so on. What I don't understand is why a fan of Nintendo chooses to side with the company rather than the community. For example, when AM2R was taken down, there were a number of people on Twitter justifying Nintendo's actions and supporting them as if AM2R's production was completely criminal. Why? Why side with a company who only sees you as some currency when you have a community who will treat you like a human being? I can understand people not giving a damn about fan games, but these aren't the same people Nintendo seems to be milking. Personally, I think it comes down to how people think. These fans more often judge situations with an emotional lens rather than a logical one. Since Nintendo's products and advertisements have brought them joy in the past, people associate this corporation with that same joy. Then a company can manipulate that feeling and mold that individual into just another talking head. That's my philosophy anyway. But it also comes down to plain ignorance. I don't think Nintendo fans understand that there is a clear difference between what is morally right and what is legally right. The two are not one and the same, and history has shown us that time and time and time again. Just because copyright laws dictate the protection of IPs, that doesn't mean it's the holy gospel and something that must be preached at all times. I get it, Nintendo can take down fan games, but when they do so, perhaps you don't have to go on and insult that fan game's developer. Maybe try to side with them initially and talk about the issue in a productive way, as opposed to immediately siding with a multinational corporation. What's even worse is the extent of how defensive these fanatics get. Some will simply and respectfully disagree to an opposing view and discuss their disagreement in a constructive way. Others choose to just relentlessly attack that opposing opinion until nothing is left and any alternate perspective is lost with it. They react to opposing views as if it's a personal attack on them because, well, they identify as a fan of what is being criticized. Their identity revolves around that entity, so any criticism of it is a criticism of them. That's why I think people get so mad at me when I openly negatively discuss Nintendo and other things people hold in high regard, like Star Fox and Pokemon Go. Just now, I went to r/Nintendo, where the top-rated post calls people who rated Super Mario Run 2 stars or below assholes for having differing views on what is acceptable in the mobile gaming sphere. Rather than insulting these people, maybe try to understand the perspective and say why you disagree. This kind of reaction to negativity and critique needs to stop. There is nothing wrong with negativity. Negativity, especially in criticism, is a necessity. You cannot have positivity without negativity. Both are in balance, and one without the other is unnatural. You cannot live your life without negativity or negative opinions towards something. It's completely natural. Not only that, but living in a world where everything is treated as if they have no flaws is misguided. That's not how things are, so when a product comes along, it should be scrutinized with negativity and positivity. If you believe otherwise or think that my negativity has no place in critique, I'm so sorry for your loss. And yes, I know that not all people in so-called fandoms are bad people. All I'm saying is that the practice of identifying as a fan so heavily is harmful to individuality and normal human interactions. Hopefully, if any of what I just said triggers you, you'll have a change of heart and be a little more moderate. Just try it. Go and watch that anti-whatever thing you're a fan of and reflect on some different opinions. The world needs more people who take the middle approach and look at things from all angles, in my opinion. To the people featured in my video, I hold no ill will over you. You're just doing what you think is right, which is apparently telling me to kill myself. Anyways, thank you so much for watching and take care. Have a wonderful day and goodbye. Fuck you, phone. Oh, that's embarrassing. I'm sorry, Lewis.